Yo, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Johnny and I predominantly do mountain bike videos and mostly just raw videos with some story videos on a every Friday Australian time around 5 p.m. So today I've decided to do my pros and cons for e-bikes. And you would have seen, well, maybe you can go back and have a look, there'll be a link below of a video about an e-bike and my experience on one and stuff like that. That was just from one ride, so I have ridden one since that video a few times, and let's get into some pros. We'll start with the pros. So pro number one is you can ride more trails. Like literally, you can ride endless amounts of trails with an e-bike as far as the battery can take you. So you're going to get way more riding in a single day without getting tired, of course. Yeah, you can ride like whole systems, I guess, pretty much from start to finish, up and down. Doesn't really matter, right? Because you've got that motor there just pumping you along. You can ride so much more trails and so many more systems in one day. It's pretty cool. So number two, climbing is actually fun. Oh, this fly is annoying me. Climbing is really fun on an e-bike. I can't say it isn't. Like realistically, climbing trails on a normal bike, or sorry, a mountain bike, is not very fun. Like the trails aren't enjoyable, obviously, because you're going uphill. You got sore legs and it takes a while. On an e-bike, I found the uphill trails to be very different. Like they actually felt like a flat trail that was enjoyable. Like it was weird. I've been up defibrillator climb 1,000 times, probably more, and to be fair, that was probably the most fun I've had up it, of course, because I wasn't sore and it was easy. But the trail became brand new to me. I felt it was just brand new, like a brand new trail. Like I was just flying up it real fast and it was actually enjoyable. So climbing trails seem to be really fun on an e-bike, which was a big surprise to me. I didn't really think of the climb trails to be any different, but yeah, they really are. It was a big difference. So yeah, climb trails are pretty fun. So next one. It helps get new riders into the sport, and what I mean by that is new riders who aren't very fit, or older riders like 50, 60 plus who haven't really had much experience on bikes. I'm sure an e-bike would get them into the sport more. They'd get them out on the bike, get them active, get their first taste of what mountain biking is. But yeah, new riders getting into the sport, that's always great. The best benefit to e-bikes, I think, is getting more people on bikes and into the trails. One thing I wouldn't suggest is, which I'll talk about in some of the cons very soon, is newer riders who already have some bike experience, or who have no bike experience, getting on an e-bike isn't great. But yeah, new riders getting into the sport, we can never have, we'll never have enough riders riding bikes, so the more the better, and e-bikes really help that. So let's move on to the cons. Now, there's a couple, there's not many, to be fair. So con number one is slow skill progression on an e-bike. And I'll include this little bit into it. Jumping really sucks on e-bikes. So skill progression is much harder on an e-bike, I've found, just by watching e-bike mates. Like their progression on a bike is very, very slow. Jumping, very, very slow. I've found that people who have gone straight to e-bikes from not riding a bike before, or a mountain bike, to be very slow at progressing in basic riding skills like jumping, cornering, all that type of stuff, like just general riding skills. It looks very not nimble. It looks very stiff when they're in the air. They seem to have trouble learning the skills from a ground perspective, like jumping is a big one. I've watched one of my mates have real problems jumping, and it's improving very, very slowly compared to someone on an actual bike getting on one and learning them skills quite fast. It might have something to do with the weight, it might have something to do with the length of the e-bikes. I'm not sure what it is yet, but it seems to be one big con is skill progression on bikes. Now, one other thing I said is jumping sucks. Jumping really sucks on an e-bike. Like the amount of extra effort you have to put in to jump an e-bike was substantial for me, and I felt it. Once I started really getting into the bike and into the jumps, I was getting more stylish and stuff, you know, like just riding it like a normal bike, but you really had to put more effort in. And I think that's really concentrated on the weight of a bike. If it's 25 kilos or more, then yeah, you're gonna feel jumping is not fun. And that might be just me. Might be just me being used to a normal bike. But yeah, I felt like jumping sucked. And one of my mates who rode the e-bike as well on that day, he also said the same thing. It wasn't great. Another con is the drag feeling once you hit the 24 or 25k cap on an e-bike. The drag feeling was very, very noticeable, I'll tell you that much. As soon as I was going downhill, I was pedaling, I hit that 24 kilometer per hour cap, which the e-bikes have, where the pedal assist doesn't kick in anymore. So if you don't know what e-bikes are, like pedal assist e-bikes are normally, they have a 24 kilometer per hour cap. So as soon as you hit that cap, the battery cuts out, you don't get any more assist. So I felt that when I was going downhill, and it really, really felt bad. The drag felt immense. Like it felt like I was riding a bike that weighed 40 kilos. Like I don't know what it was, but it wasn't good. So the drag on an e-bike, once you hit that 24 or 25 kilometer per hour hit, that limit, is really shit. Like it just is. Let me know what you think. If it isn't, but yeah, I really felt it. I didn't like it. I felt like I couldn't push any further past that speed. Like I was on the actual downs, I was getting up to 30, which was fine. I didn't really feel the drag too much, but on the flat trails that was slightly downhill and I needed the pedal to get to jumps that required more than 24 kilometer per hour speeds, I felt like I couldn't do them. I tried and it felt bad. So, you know, I'm not sure. E-bike drag, is it a thing? Let me know what your thoughts are. But yeah, I didn't like it. So I've touched on this a few times. Another big con is how heavy they are, and this really affects jumping and riding as a whole. On the downhills, it felt pretty good having that heavier bike. I could, or it might have just been the bike I was on. I was on a Mandrake level R, and I felt like I could plow through most trails quite easily, and it was good. Felt good. I really enjoyed being able to plow down them trails and absolutely rip in. But the heaviness of a bike, you can really feel. If you come from a normal bike, you can really feel that heaviness on an e-bike. It does not feel great. I'm telling you that right now, it does not feel good at all. And yeah, maybe I just need to get stronger. I don't know. The heaviness of the e-bikes is terrible. So the final con I have is controversial one, because people seem to think that you can get the same amount of fitness on an e-bike, which maybe you can. The con is loss of fitness. Now, you do gain a different type of fitness while riding an e-bike, which is upper body fitness. I felt like on the downs, you have to really work for it. You have to really use your weight to maneuver the bike around because of the weight of the bike, stuff like that. You have to really bunny hop hard to get some air on an e-bike and to do what you normally do on a normal bike. You have to put in a lot of effort. But the loss of fitness for me, I felt like it's going to be substantial. Now, if I'm riding an e-bike, I'm just going to ride it in boost, because what's the reason? Why wouldn't you? Like, if you got an e-bike, just ride it in boost. People are like, well, I just ride in eco mode, so I still get the fitness. Well, kind of defeats the purpose of owning an e-bike. If you're going to get fit, and if you want fitness, just ride a normal bike. You're going to get fit way, way faster. Your cardio is going to improve immensely with a normal bike compared to an e-bike, and you're gonna lose weight if you really want to. On an e-bike, yes, obviously you can still lose weight, because weight is just calories. You can just eat less calories, and maybe that e-bike ride might help in some way. But I did 30 Ks on the e-bike and I felt fine. If I did 30 Ks on my normal bike, I would be wrecked, like well and truly wrecked. Especially with climbing up and downhill, I would be very much destroyed. My body would be, I'd be busted, and that's just my fitness levels. On an e-bike though, I felt like I could have did another 20 Ks on top of what I did. And I went to the bottom of Jubilee, which is a 300 meter elevation park, and I did the fire road to the top, and I also did a few extra climbs on some trails as well. and I felt absolutely fine. It was a 35-degree day, and yeah. You can say that you could just ride it in eco mode or turn the battery off. Well, yeah, I guess you could do that, but it's an e-bike. You really just want to ride the e-bike how it's meant to be ridden, which is to power you up the hills. So yeah, those are my pros and cons. The biggest pro for e-bikes for me, I'll say this very seriously, is they are really, really fun. They take all the hard parts out of riding, and they make them very easy. Like, they make riding up hills a breeze, and it was very, very fun. I really enjoyed it. I'd love to have an e-bike just for big days, like 40k days, where I'm riding somewhere that requires a lot of climbing and a lot of distance. Hidden Vale would be a prime example. So I'm going to hire a bike at Hidden Vale sometime in the future, and go for a ride there, because I really liked riding that e-bike. It was really fun. I can see myself on an e-bike in the future, but there is obvious cons to having an e-bike and riding an e-bike, especially if you're a new rider. If you're new to the sport and just learning how to do all the basic skills, I'd suggest getting on a hardtail. And riding a hardtail or getting a low travel normal mountain bike would be your best bet to upskilling fast and becoming a better rider fast. An e-bike's not going to help you. An e-bike will definitely create faster and more efficient downhill runs, so you could do like 10 downhill runs, but from what I've seen, this doesn't equate to skill progression, because some of my mates just are very, very slow in that department, and they just ride e-bikes. Now, you know, maybe it'd be different for others. Some people might have e-bikes and just absolutely thrive, and a BMX rider would probably do that, and other riders in that category of experience. But yeah, anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. I got quite a lot of dislikes on my other video, and I'm not sure why. I thought I gave a very, very fair analysis of e-bikes, and I thought I cleared up the question that I keep getting asked, which is, why do you hate e-bikes? Which I don't hate e-bikes, I just prefer my normal mountain bikes just for fitness, and they feel way better to ride. And pretty much riding that e-bike confirmed that I won't be buying an e-bike anytime soon. If there's any companies out there that want to send me one to test or ride, I will greatly appreciate it, and I will definitely ride and give it a full proper review, an honest review, which I've done on the channel before. But anyways, if you thought this video was informative, leave a like below, subscribe if you're new, of course. I upload daily videos currently, and I don't know how long I'll be able to do that for, because currently I'm without a bike, but we'll see. Anyways, yeah, so they are my pros and cons for e-bikes. Maybe this will change over the next year once I start riding some more, and maybe it won't. But yeah, I'll keep you updated anyways. So cheers, legends, peace.